Hello and welcome to Learning Excel 2016. My name is Mike Henry and this is the fifth video from Chapter 10. In this video we're going to take the two variable data chart that we built in the last video and we're going to build a net income analysis chart. So we're going to have 5 different lines of possible pricing on this chart. In the last video we built this two variable data table here where we had the variables of units sold down the side and we had the average price per unit along the side, along the top. We have 5 different columns here showing us 5 different pricings comparing the different units coming down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a chart that's going to show us those, give us a good visual of what's going on here. Now, if we just graph from here to here, which people naturally want to do so they have those titles up here, we're going to have a serious problem. And you're going to see that as I do this real quick. I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to do the same kind of chart, a scattered smooth line chart. But you'll see that we have this really interesting setup here where it goes off to the side. And the reason we have that is because even though it says units sold here, there's really a number behind here. And it's confusing because it doesn't know whether to put this number as a price or as a unit sold. It doesn't know exactly what to do with it. So what we're going to do to graph this is we are not going to take the example line. We're going to graph everything below the example line. And you'll see when we do the exact same thing, insert as a scatter chart with smooth lines, you can see I quickly get a nice looking chart that makes a little bit more sense. Now let's just move this down here to where it should be. We'll put it right under here and we'll pop this over kind of like that. Looks about what they want for us. So what we can see now is that everything starts from the exact same point, 1,020,000 negative, and you can see that that looks natural across the top. And you can see each one of these lines is growing at a faster pace, and that's showing you the slow line here versus the faster line here because we've got a higher price. Now, when it crosses the zero line, in each of these cases, that's your break-even point. That's your break-even point for that particular price. So it's very important. A lot of marketing people would want to know which price is going to be the best one to get us to the quickest break-even, but also understand what the total market is worth. The real downside here, as you can see, it says Series 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have the series names, which are right here, 300, 325, 350. And the reason we don't have those is because we weren't able to graph that top line. So if you remember back to Chapter 4, we can actually fix that. What we do is we come up here to the Select Data. And you can see that each one of these series right now is called Series 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's because we don't have a name for them. And if we decide to pick Series 1 here and hit Edit, you'll notice that it doesn't have a series name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right in there. And I'm going to come up here and click on the 300 because that is the series, the first series. Okay, and you can see it puts 300 here. And we can go to the next one. We hit Edit, and that would be the 325 line. I click here. I can hit Edit, and I can put that as the 350 line. And I can quickly put in these. Now, I happen to be going by the cell's location. I could actually type in here a $sign and a 375, and that would work too. The problem is, if later on down the line we change these prices, this will not reflect automatically. As a matter of fact, I will show you that. I'm going to leave that one as a 375, and then we'll do this one correctly at the 400. So now you can see those have been corrected. We've got a nice line across here. You can't tell that 375 is any different than the others. But if I suddenly were to say, you know, let's take this from $25 increments up to $50 increments. Whoops, that's not a $50. Let's try $350 here. There's a $50 increment change, and if I were to match that all the way across, you can see that that number now says 450. We've got a definite change. our chart has changed appropriately. The problem is right there, that still says 375 and it doesn't look right when you come across this. So it's really important. I always say change it with the cell. That way if someone changes the cell, it looks good for you. You guys know how to change a chart title, so you just click on there and you change the chart title. In this video, we learned how to make a net income analysis chart. Really what we did is we took multiple columns here from our two variable chart and turned that into an analysis. Much easier to read visually than it is to look at the numbers down. Shows you quickly the trends versus each line, and gives someone who's trying to make decisions a quick, easy way to look at it versus getting down deep into the numbers. So you saw that we were able to quickly do that. The biggest point that we had to remember is that if you have an example up in the corner, you're not able to graph with the example in the corner. It'll throw your numbers really far off.